I'm going to pick up where Jed left off a few moments ago. I'm assuming that most of us in this room exercised our freedom, privilege, and right to vote this past week, to participate in this thing we call democracy. I heard an interesting explanation about our great Constitution and Bill of Rights from a constitutional law professor. He said, if you really look at our Constitution, it's not really a great document for the institution or the system of democracy. It talks about the rights and privileges of the privileged. Our Bill of Rights spells out our rights and our freedoms, and it sets in place certain limitations on the powers of government. But there's something totally missing in our Constitution, and there's something totally missing in so much of life in our country and countries around the world. And the word that I'm thinking of, I don't think, and I didn't read the whole Constitution and Bill of Rights, but I don't think it appears even once in those documents. And that word is responsibility. I wonder how things would be different in this country if it was mandated within our Constitution and Bill of Rights. We also had a bill of responsibilities. That it's not your privilege and freedom to vote, it's your responsibility to vote. What if there were a 10% surcharge on your income tax every year if you did not participate at least 8 hours a month in a political party? In the political process, in the democratic process. The people with privilege and power wouldn't like that very much. They want us to relinquish our responsibility and hand it over to them. I'm going to share a couple of opinions now, and they are not designed to make you feel warm and fuzzy. And I know for a fact there are several of you in here who will, at first, disagree. I'm not trying to start an argument, I'm trying to get you to think. And these opinions aren't necessarily mine. They're just thrown out there for the purpose to get you to think. As we go through life, there are so many, probably every person in this room will be included in the list of things I'm going to talk about. But there are persons who have been the victim of some mental, physical, sexual abuse at some point in their lives. There's almost every one of us has dealt with addictions. And so many of those addictions are said to be diseases, like alcoholism is quite commonly called a disease. But in every one of these events, they are all true, probably. I'm not a doctor or a psychologist, I don't know for sure. But I do know that every time we use that event, that disease, that addiction, that being a victim as an excuse, we are shirking to some degree our responsibility for our thoughts and our actions and our responses. I hope you all consider that there might be some validity to what I just said. I don't know for sure. I'm just kicking it out there, hoping you'll kick it around a little bit. I think that everything I've said this morning so far has been about our physical lives and our physical participation. And I know that each one of you is sitting there asking yourself, well, this is supposed to be a spiritual community, or a spiritual journey. What does all this responsibility in our physical lives have to do with our relationship with the unseen, with our relationship to spirit, with our expanded awareness of spiritual power? Well, I'm glad you all asked me that question. And it's a great question. Now I'm sounding like a politician. But unlike most politicians, I will try to answer that question for you. Every one of you in this room has experienced some sort of expanded awareness. Some sort of, excuse me, some sort of awareness of the power or the presence of the unseen, of spirit, of God, whatever you want to call it. Or you wouldn't be sitting here. It's in that experience itself. You had an uncommon experience when you experienced the presence and the power and the vastness of the unseen, of spirit. And in that gift of experience, there lies responsibility. You know the power of compassion and sharing. There's bags of your compassion and sharing sitting in the back, and you're going to go organize them and give them to the universe. That's assuming the responsibility of your expanded awareness. There are a lot of people in this country today who have no clue what compassion is. Most of you are aware of the power, the unseen power of abundance, that unlimited supply of everything, and that all we have to do is tap into it. Open the doors, stop shutting the doors, stop blocking it by feeling poor and without. And know that that abundance is right there, and all you have to do is accept it and share it, and it will begin flowing through your life like a huge river. But knowing it is one thing. But when you feel it and you share it and you open the door and you use it, you are assuming the responsibility of that gift, of the knowledge and experience of abundance. I could go on and on with every spiritual principle that we touch on or investigate or try to learn more about. There's some wise person that said years ago that to those who much is given, much is expected. And every one of us in this room has been given the gift of expanded awareness. We understand things that so many people don't know about the mysteries of life, the mysteries of the power of spirit. And is it not our responsibility to share that gift, to share that wisdom, that knowledge, that little bit of understanding? I think it is. Every one of us in this room has the capacity to increase our scope, our practice of responsibility of sharing what we've been given. Not just the money that flows through our pockets or the food, but the wisdom and the love and the companionship and the community that we have created right here in this room. And this wouldn't be much of a community if every single one of us didn't invest in it. Invest our time and our talent and our thought and our treasure. Take the time to hug each other and shake hands and learn a little bit about more each other, and to give each other a little upping when we're down. I'm probably singing to the choir when I talk about responsibility. But when I look at my own life, I could be doing so much more. I've been given so much, and I could be doing so much more. And that's my talk today. That's my message, is for each of us to consider, how much have you been given? Some of you have been given great challenges. Huge challenges. And you've met those challenges and you've transcended. Could it be that you have a responsibility to share that wisdom, to share that experience, and embrace and support maybe other people that are going through huge challenges that don't know if they're going to make it or not? Every one of us has been scared spitless, been terrified, and we've made it. I can tell you, folks, there's a lot of people in this world right now that are scared way more than spitless. They have no idea what they're going to do for food or shelter tomorrow. They don't have any idea that there are people that really give a damn. They care. Isn't it our responsibility? Because we have uncommon awareness. We have uncommon understanding. And in that gift, there's huge responsibility if you choose to accept it. We're going to sing John Lennon's song in a moment. And as you sing those words, how many of those lyrics actually could be more than just a point of imagination? How many of those words in those lyrics, those ideas, those thoughts, how many of them, if you chose to take the responsibility, could you make a reality rather than just some cool words on a page? Every one of us has the power to do so. We have the unlimited power of spirit within us. If we'll take the spirit, to take the initiative and the courage, and we've got all that we need to assume the responsibility to be an active, loving, energy-giving part of the whole. It's up to you. Let's stand up and sing, Imagine.